This is Elasticities from Marketing, Chapter 20, which is Marketing Planning. So here we go. Just remember the important thing to remember elasticities is that it always measures how the quantity demanded of a product changes. So it's undertaken by the marketing department that want to get an understanding of how the market is going to respond, how the quantity of your product is going to change due to the different factors changing internally or externally. Okay, so we're going to look at those individually, the 4 elasticities that we need to know for our A2 course, and then I'll do a question on it so you get an idea of exactly how to solve it in your exams. Now, this one, price elasticity of demand, we know from our AS course. I'm just going to quickly go through it. Price elasticity of demand, or PED, it measures how the quantity demanded of a product changes when the price of that product changes. And the formula to calculate it is percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. You'll always be given certain numbers: price, the old price of a good, the new price, the old quantity, the new quantity. You simply find out the percentage change. You know the way to calculate percentage change is new minus old divided by old. So you use that formula to calculate the percentage change for the numerator and denominator, then equate them, and the answer you get will either be equal to 1, greater than 1, or less than 1. If it's equal to 1, that means the quantity demanded changed by the same amount as the price change, so there was no real effect on the business. If it's elastic, that means the quantity demanded changed by much more than the percentage change in price. And inelastic, the percentage change in quantity demanded was less than the percentage change in price. Now, the business strategy will differ quite a bit depending on the result of PED. Elastic will be quite different to how inelastic would be. And this is all we've done in AS, so I'm just going to go ahead to the new ones. The second one we did was called income elasticity of demand. And the only thing that changes in it is the factor that's influencing the change in quantity demanded. Previously in PED, we took price as the main factor to determine the change in quantity demanded. In this case, however, we take the income of the people as the main determinant. So what YED, or income elasticity of demand, measures is how quantity demanded changes when people's income change. And the way to calculate that is percentage change in quantity demanded, that's what QD is, divided by percentage change in income. And when you insert the numbers, you will get these numbers. You'll either get a number that's greater than 1, either that's between 1 and 0, or less than 0. In each case, the meaning of each of these numbers will be very different. If it's greater than 1, that means it's a luxury good, things like sports cars and luxury vacations, things like that. Normal good, your everyday use, your bread, your medicine, those sort of things. An inferior good, like public transport, unbranded clothes, things you would buy less of if your income increased. So if, as a result, your income is increasing, or the income of the people in the economy increasing, a business should look at what kind of product they're making. If the incomes increase, then the makers of luxury good products will start to prosper. Their businesses will go up and people will stop buying inferior goods. However, if incomes decrease, then you'll see an increase in people looking for cheaper substitutes and buying inferior goods rather than going for luxury items. All the while, the consumption of normal goods does not change. Then the third type of elasticity is called promotional elasticity of demand. Okay, and this is again, the marketing department is in charge of all the promotional activities undertaken by the business. And the business would always want to know how effective a promotional campaign is. They would like to know it in numbers term, and they use this formula to see how a promotional campaign affected the quantity demanded of that product, if the money we spent on it was worthwhile or not. And the formula for it is percentage change in quantity demanded upon percentage change in promotional spending. So how much they spent on their marketing. When you plug this in, your number will either be greater than 1 or less than 1. If it's equal to 1, that means the change was equivalent, it's negligible. But if it's greater than 1, that means the response was quite good and you should spend more because people are buying more of your product as a result. If it's less than 1, that does not mean that people have stopped buying, it just simply means that the response was not what you were expecting. So the business needs to rethink the strategy and then get back to promoting the product more. And finally, the last one was called, or is called, cross elasticity of demand. This is where you start comparing two different products. You want to see how the demand of one product changes when the price of another changes. And there has to be a relationship between the two products for one to impact the quantity demanded of the other. So cross elasticity, which is known through XED, is percentage change in quantity demanded of a good or good A divided by a percentage change in the price of the other good. Okay, when you plug in the numbers, your number will either be a positive, or that means more than 0, or negative, less than 0. If it's positive, that means those goods are substitutes of each other. So examples would be Coca-Cola, good A, and Pepsi, good B. So if Pepsi increases the price of their product, you expect Pepsi's quantity to decrease and Coca-Cola to benefit from it. Or if Pepsi decreases their price, then you expect that Pepsi's quantity demanded will go up, and as a result, Coca-Cola's quantity demanded will go down. So positive substitute, and if the number comes out to be a negative, that means those two goods are complements of each other, meaning car and petrol or jam and bread. So those are the 4 elasticities that we have to cover in our A2 course. So here's a question on elasticities that appeared in 2018 June paper 32, and this is question number 4. And they asked you to calculate the promotional elasticity and the price elasticity of demand. So let's look at promotional elasticity first. The information that we need are given in the first two rows of this question. So the forecast demand for DA walking boot range in 2019 with promotional spending of 200,000. And then right below you're given the walking boot range in 2019 with the promotional spending of $300,000. So old is $200,000 and the new is $300,000. And given at that promotional spending, the quantity demanded changed from $40,000 to $50,000. So first thing you need to do is find out the the percentage change for quantity demanded and the percentage change for promotional spending. So how do you find out percentage change in quantity demanded? You take the formula new minus old divided by old, right? So this gives us the new one is 50,000 minus old 40,000 divided by old 40,000. Okay, so this, if you solve for this becomes 0.25 or 25%. The percentage change in promotional spending again new minus old divided by old. So the new spending is 300,000 minus 200,000 the old spending upon old 200,000. Right? And when you solve for this comes up to be 0.5 or 50%. Okay, so simply the next step is you put it into the formula of promotional elasticity of demand. So AED then becomes 0.25 divided by 0.5, and this gives you a number of 0.5, which makes this inelastic. Now we know from our previous slide that if it's inelastic, that means the business needs to rethink its strategy, find new ways to promote the product, and then go back towards promoting it further through the marketing campaign they had going on. The second part of this was asking you to calculate the price elasticity of demand, which is percentage change in quantity demanded upon percentage change in price. And you're given all the information over here. Forecast demand for Forecast demand for DA Explorer in 2019 at price 200,000. That's the old price. The forecast demand for DA in 2019 at a price of 180,000, and you also given the number of units or quantity demanded at that range. So as always, you first need to find out percentage change in quantity demanded, which is again new minus old divided by old. Okay, and so the new price, the new quantity demanded is 11,300 minus 10,000 divided by 10,000, and this gives you a figure of 0.13 or 13%. Okay, sorry if it's getting a little smaller to see, but I'm just trying to fit it all in one. Percentage change in price with again new minus old divided by old. So the new price is 180 minus 200 divided by 200. Remember, in PED we ignore the minus sign, so this becomes 0.1 or 10%. The final step is plugging it into the formula. So PED equals percentage in quantity demand is 0.13 divided by 0.1, and this gives you a PED of, or let's leave it as minus 1.3, which makes it inelastic. Sorry, elastic. And that's how you solve this question. Of course, in part C of this question, you will be asked to calculate, you'll be asked to comment on what these elasticity results mean and how the business should use it in its marketing strategy, and that's something that you will take from the previous slide and use all that information in these numbers to write in your answers.